Welcome, everyone, to the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
Woo!
I'm so excited. What do we got on the show today, JFB?
We don't have a joke this week.
This is okay.
But that's all right. We got news, just a little bit of news. And we're going to talk about the Black experience, the pioneers of Black professional wrestlers, guys who blew open the door, if you will, for guys like The Rock, who just all of a sudden mega heel.
Well, we're talking the greatest Black wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, we are.
And we're going to see some interesting picks. Could we see The Rock drafted 1? Could we see Ahmed Johnson drafted 15? Who knows?
We don't know. We don't know because it's unpredictable. Damn it. And
let's hit that intro.
Let's hit the intro. Do-do-do.
Coming to you live from the FN Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
With your hosts, Canada Dry. In the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Good afternoon, good morning. If I don't see you till later, how you doing? Keep my supper warm. It's the JFB, the man who's never met a drink he didn't like.
And who's this beside you?
This right here is Squirrel. This is our rescue pitty, and he is the most precious puppy dog in the world. Yes, he is.
He's a handsome young man.
Hello, everybody. Oh, see, it's his first appearance. And we got, of course, who else are we joined by? We're joined by this guy to my left.
I'm, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. My name is Canada Dry.
Canada Dry. Woo! We're joined by, well, you know, this guy is a rival of mine at times. He's been a friend of mine at times, but he's all around probably one of the most decent guys in our prediction league. We're talking about Kush Money. Kush, what's going on, brother?
Not nothing much, man. I'm just here, just kicking back, man. Joining along the ride with y'all with the show. How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good.
You know, when I need a check cashed, you know where I go?
Kush Money.
I go to Kush Money.
He can cash you checks. He can do your income taxes.
Payday loans.
Payday loans. He can find missing people. He's awesome. He's an all-around great guy. This guy basically does just about everything. So, before we get started with our main event, let's kind of somebody's up at 3:34 a.m. That's Ayaka. Hey, Ayaka, how you doing? GM Joe.
You when I wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Nothing good happens at 3.
Sometimes you're not feeling good. You do an Ayaka.
Well, before we get started with the main event, we got to go with the news.
From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
Hello, JFB. JFB, how are you doing today? Welcome to the news.
So let's get started with the news. Who remembers the Velveteen Dream? Well, yeah, he's back. Not in the limelight, of course. He wrestled at his show working for Dynasty, which is a New York City-based show. He answered a open challenge and decided to come out and do it. Now, he did not wrestle as a Velveteen Dream. He did wrestle under his normal name. So, Nick Nemeth, otherwise known as Dolph Ziggler.
Let's bring in one of our call-ins. Someone's calling in.
Let's call it in. Bring it in. Tim Tobin.
Tim Tobin, how you doing?
Can't hear you. You're on mute.
He's
How you doing?
There we go. There's
There
the
you go.
man.
Pancake man, what kind of pancakes you make this morning?
Strawberry cheesecake.
Oh,
Strawberry cheesecake pancakes. That's
I'm digging it. Strawberry cheesecake pancakes.
Yeah.
All right. So, so Dolph Ziggler apparently asked for his release more than 4 times from the WWE. Canada Dry, what do you think? Maybe they should have given him the release the second time he asked?
Well, that was interesting because I think who was it? He was a Pat Patterson guy.
Yeah.
And Pat Patterson would just deal with Pat Patterson, and Pat Patterson would come with his plans for Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
And they would mockingly, just to screw with Pat Patterson, make Dolph Ziggler lose just to frustrate Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
That's like no way to run a company.
Yeah. That sounds like the WWE kind of way, Vince McMahon for sure. Mr. Tobin, Mr. Pancake Man, your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler?
I think he did good at TNA when he first time went TNA. He did go with GCW.
Yeah.
What's his next step since he got released from WWE? What's next for him?
I think New Japan. I know he's getting ready to wrestle in New Japan and TNA as well. So
I can see Dolph doing a couple one-offs in AEW.
Yeah, maybe with his brother. Yeah. Kush, what are your thoughts?
I feel like he's going to have free reign as far as going wherever he wants to go and stuff like New Japan Pro Wrestling, as you just said, and possibly a nice match or so for AEW in the near future. Right now, I'm loving the fact that he's getting a spotlight that he deserves, and he's doing things with Steve Macklin and stuff at the moment. And pretty soon, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the world title picture, no matter who's going to be the champion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, Tim. Anything else you want to add before we smell you later?
Well, news or
Yeah, we got someone else waiting to call in. So
I think the only news that I want to talk about is like injuries. You know, like with the injuries and Nikita. You know, they're like phenomenal superstars, but
Okay.
yeah, injuries happen in wrestling. It's just part of it.
Yeah.
You know, this just goes to show that
Mhm.
it's like any other sport. You have injuries.
And the other big news is Thunder Rosa's fighting Lady Bird at MPW Mania.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
So it's gonna be
All right.
Thunder Rosa's gonna fight an own company. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if the Bookers helped to win. All right, we'll see you later, Tim Tobin.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so Nikita Lyons, obviously, she's injured again, which is a really bad. It's a bummer, but there's another there's another Finley wrestling. This is David Finley's son, otherwise known as David Finley in New Japan. Brogan Finley is wrestling. Made his debut in NXT last night. He is now a 4th generation Finley to strap on the boots. You know what? Let's ask Alex Haney, because Haney's joined us now. Mr. Haney, are you a fan of the Finley family? Is this the new family of professional wrestling?
Well, was it not that they're related in any way? I remember they are, but was it my mother's side of the family are Finley? So,
Oh, really?
Finley, yes, Scottish Finley, but yes,
All
different sort of thing. We guess.
Technically, we have Finley on the show right now.
Yeah, we
And I
have
just-
another, we have a fifth
Yeah.
generation Finley.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just want to say how much of a whiny ass bitch that not what was it, Dolph Ziggler's became after leaving WWE. I mean, after everything they did to him, you know. But was it 6-time intercontinental champion, Money in the Bank winner, Grand Slam champion, you know, Triple Crown champion. Oh, I was treated so badly. What a dick. Anyways,
Well, that's the thing. It's like you gotta burn your bridges when you whine afterwards.
Yeah.
Unless he knows he's never going back.
well, I don't know about that. He probably will one day when he realizes that. What was it? The grass isn't greener on the other side. But
I mean, we already see, man, with all the people that burn bridges with WWE, all of them, almost all of them, unless they already passed away, have always came back. CM
Yeah.
Punk, for instance, too.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? I mean, the next one is probably going to go back to WWE, and he say it won't, but it'll happen in the next 2 or 3 years as his career's winding down, and it'll probably be Chris Jericho, because he's an egotistical maniac, and he'll want to have something to do with his legacy, and not his legacy's in the WWE, you know. So, what was it? That's why he'll end up back there at some point, unfortunately.
I kind of agree because he's grown a bit stale in AEW.
He was a bit stale in the WWE before he left. You know, he's
Well,
not
I
got
don't
anything.
know. He was the hottest commodity at that
Oh,
time.
my God, he had a list. Oh,
It was hot, man.
listen, I used to get sent to the shop with a shopping list from my mother. I mean, she had the list long before Chris Jericho had a list.
Yeah, but yours with margarine, eggs. His is, snapping that pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
Chris, what are your thoughts on Chris Jericho returning to WWE one day?
I mean, I definitely can see that coming because the fact that he still has a record for most times as Intercontinental Champion pretty much speaks volumes of how, him and WWE still have that mutual respect. Because they could have had Miz man go for it when he was going against Gunther for it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Probably just because of that. So I won't be surprised, like down the road, probably this year or next year, he might return and might wrap it up and stuff, man, with WWE.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is after Vince has kind of been fired and removed from the thing, is they started using the word codebreaker again on WWE television.
Yes.
I noticed that too.
But yeah, I mean, Candice Michelle used to do it better, though.
Did Candice Michelle use the codebreaker?
Yeah, and the Candy Crush and the Mizzy's move, which was a Candy Crush. But we won't.
Oh,
go
did she
there.
call it the Candy Crush?
It was called the Candy Crush. Yes.
Was this before the game even existed?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
They copied her.
He's owed some royalties for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but was it creating signatures? There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, his finishing move in AEW. It's just a turning elbow. You know, it's nothing
But
special.
at the same time, he makes it look devastating.
It's the same with like a Okada. I mean, the Rainmaker. It's just a clothesline. Crying out loud. But yeah, what was it?
Let me ask you. Let me broach one more and get your guys' opinions on this. The Rock officially is now a member of the Bloodline, but there's talk that he's going to turn on. That's going to be Cody and Seth Rollins versus Roman and The Rock on night 1, and night 2 will be Cody versus Reigns, and The Rock will turn on Roman Reigns and cost him the belt and the win to Cody.
Do you know what could happen? Is Seth could turn on Cody.
Yeah.
No.
And Rock could turn on Roman because they both did little hints that they might do this.
Yeah.
With The Rock, with his not doing the salute properly, and
Probably wasn't.
Neither did what was it, Jimmy or Paul Heyman? They put up the wrong arm. You know.
Yeah, I know that too.
So
but Seth Rollins said something too.
I think you're looking too much into that.
No, but check it out. Seth Rollins said something too that was being. I don't know if they're just saying it to get these little Easter eggs in or make you think
Yeah.
or overthink. But Seth Rollins said, "Let me be your shield,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
which just makes you think that he could be aligning with Roman.
Yeah. I mean, they're brothers in arms.
They're still
I'm more
unfinished
inclined-
business with Steph and Cody anyway, because Cody's beating Steph all the time. I know Steph still wants to have that victory over him anyway.
That would be a cool story for like a double switch at Mania.
I'm more inclined to think that that Seth's not going to be part of that match because Seth's going to be defending his World Championship night one against whoever wins the Elimination Chamber. That tag team's going to have Stone Cold as Cody's partner. What was it? I'm 95% sure of that. That's what I think is going to happen there. But was it you're going to see Triple H bringing in a friend? Because bear in mind, and I've said this in the chat as well. The intent was for Roman not to lose the belt at WrestleMania. They were heavily pushing that Hogan record, and it sort of died down a little bit. So maybe that's shifted, but the intent was never for Roman to drop the title at WrestleMania. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I believe that. But since they're running with this Cody thing, maybe it's shifted.
Yeah, I just hope. I mean, I'm a big Cody fan, but I would laugh hysterically if he doesn't win it this time either. Because because it rubbed everybody up the wrong way. And wrestling fans are such whiny ass bitches now. Sorry.
Cody crybabies, right?
Yeah, they can't deal with a story. Cody said it himself. Dusty's used to say that the story is you never finish a story.
Yeah.
But nobody listens anymore to what people are saying. You're talking about little Easter eggs and nuggets in there. There's loads of them in Cody's promos and Roman's promos.
I would have liked to, possibly, maybe this might have been rushed to have this tag team match between Seth and Cody and Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber. That would have been big.
That's what I was thinking too. It should have been.
How do you get Rock to get away from his schedule though? From what was it over to Australia? It's 4 or 5 days out. I mean, it's easier to get to Saudi than it is to get to Australia. Because you can just do the European thing.
Yeah.
What was it? It's a difficult one there. What was it? We'll just need to see how it plays out. I think there's a few twists and turns still to come. In terms of what to do story. I think they're still feeling it out. I like the idea of a sort of corporate bloodline. What was it? I can't remember his surname. I was reading a rumor that who's the guy that does the writing for The Rock? Was it he was in the WWE before? Was it Barry or Bragg? Yes. Well, apparently he's back in the writing team at the moment. So, what was it called? Maybe there's something planned there long term. You get the Rock Roman thing to continue on is sort of what was it? SummerSlam. I mean, the only thing it's a weird situation for the WWE, I think, because at the end of the day, traditionally, what you would want out of that situation was The Rock to put over the guy. But what was it? Roman's obviously going to next step's probably going to be a babyface, So,
Ayaka wants to know why you're so salty in chat.
Sorry,
Ayaka wants to know why you're so salty in the chat.
Why am I so salty in chat? I don't know. It's maybe because I'm Scottish,
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm maybe it's everybody else that's salty and I'm not, But was it called?
That's true. That could be it. We have someone else waiting backstage to call in, so we'll see you later, Alex.
I never got to answer my question about the Finleys.
What was the question?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And anyways, just a little recommendation to Kush Money. Don't be lending that JFB any money because he's actually DB Cooper. He's getting millions hidden.
Don't be lending him no money, Kurt.
I'll go note it. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you later, Alec.
No worries. Just bye.
Bye.
Speaking of salty
We
Scotch,
got one more caller.
Yeah, bring him in. We'll
BCB. Caleb.
BCB
freaking
in
Marion.
the house.
What's up, all effing wrestling?
What's up, man?
So, I want
What's
to
up,
ask you,
folks?
Caleb. Caleb, I want to ask you something.
Yes.
So apparently someone named your ex-girlfriend has been calling in the shows when you call in. How do you feel about that?
It's outward.
Awkward, yeah.
Super.
Yeah. It's funny. It's
You know, like it's hard when your ex-girlfriend calls in the podcast. It's
He is there, too.
hold on. I'm going to bring someone else in quickly. Alec, we have to ask you something.
Yes.
So Caleb has been claiming that you're the one calling in as the ex-girlfriend. Can you confirm or deny this?
I will absolutely 100% not confirm or deny that it is me. But
See, there you go. There you go.
Yes, I know it's you.
All right,
I
let's
think it might not be.
well, we do have Caleb's ex-girlfriends calling in.
Whoa! All right, Alex, we're gonna let you go to bring in the ex-girlfriend.
No,
my
hell
goodness.
no.
So there we go. We know for sure it's not Alex then if he's calling in.
Oh, how's it going? Love you.
Oh, look at this! He said he loves you.
I love you too.
I hope we
Oh,
get back. I hope we get back together one day.
Yeah, yes, they can.
Oh, good. You guys are making up.
Just make sure to bring a gift.
Yes, sir. It's on my way.
Ain't that special?
That's nice. We have potentially.
Wow.
They could get
Have a
back together.
reunion.
I'm here for the news of Westwind.
Okay. Let's talk about the news.
Well, hold on 1 second, because I mean we have a celebration going on. We might have
Yeah.
a reunion.
Yes. Well, you guys could get back together. Make sure you give her a gift next time.
I will.
So we know it's not Alex Haney,
No, it's not.
right?
No, we
Yeah,
know it's
'cause
not
he-
Alex. So speaking of salty Scotsmans, Drew McIntyre is still wrestling without a contract, by the way, in WWE. It's been confirmed by Drew himself on a podcast that he is wrestling without any contract whatsoever. But someone else has come back to the motherland. That's QT Marshall. He is back with AEW Wrestling, where he will take on a more wrestling role rather than the backstage role and trainer role that he's had previously. So,
No, he's not gonna be a wrestler. He's gonna be more backstage.
oh, he's going to be more backstage. Okay,
Yeah.
I misread it.
Yeah.
It happens.
You said it
occasionally.
backwards.
So, what do we think about Drew McIntyre not having a contract?
Caleb, what are you thinking about this Drew McIntyre fellow wrestling without a contract?
So, I hear a match is going to happen tomorrow. Is Drew McIntyre versus somebody. Is Tori Rose tomorrow. And I agree with the Steph freaking Rollins promo, but he said the sale with Tori Rose. So The Rock, he crossed the line. Is like, this is not ready. The Rock is not ready to be part of the board yet, but it's time for Drew McIntyre. That's Roman Reigns versus Tori Rose for the title, not The Rock. Like, Rock didn't serve no tail tip. But he's back, he's doing this, but I don't know what it is called.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know, Caleb. Your thoughts, Kush, on Drew McIntyre wrestling without a contract?
Toast money is too sad to talk.
She's too sad to talk.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb. We'll talk to you later. Good to have you on again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, so one last thing, and that is this. If you want to work for a company without any drama or tension, do not go to TNA, because apparently not everybody is happy with Scott D'Amore being essentially deleted. That was intentional too. Deleted. He has been deleted, and apparently there's a lot of people that are looking to find a way to get out of their contracts to go wrestle anywhere else. So, my question to you guys is, where does Scott D'Amore go from this point? Do you see him trying to get enough leverage to buy out TNA? Do we maybe see him take a producer's role in AEW or WWE? What do you think he ends up, Canada Dre?
I think he still has a lot of value. I could see him going to WWE and doing something there. I could see him doing something in AEW as well, because he's got a great mind.
Yeah.
So I think he would be huge for either company. So I don't see him buying out TNA. I don't see them letting him.
Yeah.
So
okay, Kush, what are your thoughts?
It's a shame, man, that's how the way they dealt with him after he done so much and stuff, man, and bring it back to prominence and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially, man, for all the years even before the COVID era.
Yeah.
However, whatever he wants to do, I can probably see him, man, probably go to AEW or produce, or heck, even probably start his own little company or something and get out some of the wrestlers, man, who's been loyal to him, that he definitely helped shape their careers. Either way, I don't think it's going to be the last we're going to hear from him, anytime soon or stuff, as far as, promoting and doing what he was doing for that company.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got to say this. Anthem has a buttload of money. Don't let anybody fool you in thinking that, they're strapped for cash and they didn't want to go after bigger names. Scott, the guy who's running TNA, is not a wrestling guy. He's a business guy. He understands business of making money. He doesn't understand the wrestling world. And I think that's going to be detrimental to them in the end, because Scott D'Amore was a wrestling guy. He knew what it took to run a promotion.
So they're making Tommy Dreamer the new creative guy, the new booker.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it's going to go very well. Nothing
All
against
of a sudden, Tommy Dreamer is the new world champion at TNA. I can't believe this. Books himself to the top.
Oh,
he puts
God.
himself in beats Moose.
This is
Well,
unbelievable. Tommy Dreamer at this age is the world champion. Oh my goodness.
Oh God, that would make me want to vomit. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and get to our main event of
The reason we're here, baby.
Here we go. Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Once again, I'll say this, and I say this quite often. We have the best music.
Oh, yeah.
In all of indie podcast world.
Oh, yeah. Nobody touches us. Nobody touches.
We won't be undersold.
Here's Dreamer didn't even want to be ECW champion when he even insisted he get it. You're not wrong. I mean, Dreamer did not like being champion in anything, even his own promotion, the House of Hardcore. He didn't want anything to do with being.
I was joking. I don't think Tommy Dreamer would do that. I don't. You don't know.
Think you will, but I have a feeling there's going to be an influx of older wrestlers coming into TNA that are going to get title shots. Hell, we might even see Hulk Hogan return to TNA again.
Let me tell you something, brother. Hulk Hogan has one more good run as a world champion in him, brother.
Yeah, he's got something, all right, but it ain't a run.
That's his famous line. I got one more left in me.
So the point, February is Black History Month, and all the sports get behind it and talk about the Black history in terms of their sport. Like, for example, in the NHL, Willie O'Ree was the first Black player. He played for the Boston Bruins. He was the first Black player to break the color barrier in hockey. Jackie Robinson, obviously, with baseball. Alex Haney has shocking news. I say we go to the shocking news first, and then we'll finish this.
Shane, I want to know you're Caleb's ex-girlfriend. Is that the shocking news?
No, I mean, it's worse. I've just received a message from Caleb's ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
sent me pictures of a sushi.
Pictures of sushi.
And said, I quote, "Are you a Wi-Fi signal? Because I'm feeling a connection."
Oh, so
And
she's
that she
hitting
loves-
on you.
And that she loves my dulcet Scottish tone.
Oh my goodness. We can't tell Caleb, and we can't tell your lovely wife.
Yeah,
So
we can't say anything to Fiona.
Fiona would be very upset about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just thought I'd share that. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. I mean, after they sort of reconciled live only 5 minutes ago, I mean, Caleb's a bro, and I just thought I had to share this news.
Yeah, and I think could the ex-girlfriend be looking out for revenge to mess with his heart?
Quite possibly, yeah.
I mean, it could happen. It's really sad. I mean, it's just,
That's unheard of the rain. So it's voice triggered too. It's really sad, and it'll start.
It's like Inside Out, the Disney movie.
All right, so let's get back to our main event.
Anyway,
All right, Alex. Thanks for calling in.
I thought I'd share that bad news. Sorry, Caleb.
All right, bye.
So, professional wrestling has a very dark history when it comes to Black athletes that have come and gone within professional wrestling. So we decided to pay homage. You have guys like Swerve, Shane Taylor, you have you have Bobby Lashley, you have this insurmountable amount of talented Black professional wrestlers that wouldn't have the chances that they have now if it wasn't for the guys we're about to talk about. And we're talking about.
I'm proud to say that Kush is going to make the first selection here in this draft.
The first selection. So Kush,
I want to know who he picks.
Kush, it's up to you, my man. You gotta lead it off, brother.
Like I said, I mean, I was just talking with Canada Drive, man, about a few days ago, and I think y'all already know, man, who I have exactly have my finger on for number one. Of course, he's a guy that I grew up, man. Helped me, man, become a wrestling fan in the beginning, all because in the Attitude Era, and he's an eyebrow raising, trailblazing man. Always, man, catches quick with the tongue, man, quick with the whip. Because man, he'll always come with it, and that is the people's champion, the great one, The Rock.
Interesting. The Rock.
I'll say this. The Rock has a lineage. And I think that helped him understand the business a lot better than if he had nobody involved in his life in professional wrestling. I think it opened doors for him. And then once the door was cracked open, he kicked it open and was able to go ahead and get out and show the world, I am a great wrestler. It's not just my family. It's not just my dad, Rocky Johnson. But, and I think he carried the torch for a lot of guys that we're going to talk about in bridging that gap between the old school and the new school. So, Canada Dry, your thoughts?
I think this is one of these polarizing things for The Rock is he's never quite seen as a Black wrestler.
Yeah.
Even though he's half. His Samoan side gets celebrated way more.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
But at the time, there was no Black wrestlers on his level.
Oh, not even close.
Like, he was immediately jolted to stardom, taking over Farouk's role as the leader of Night Nation Domination.
Yeah.
Like, it was big for The Rock to all of a sudden just take over.
Yeah.
That action.
I mean, he does have that appeal about him to where, when he's in the ring or wherever he's at, he commands the attention, man. He just has that. He just has that feel about him, like being a leader, being the star who was turned to a mega star, who went on to bigger and better things, even became world champion and all that. And that's one of the reasons why I became a wrestling fan in the first place, because he's just that appealing and stuff, like whether it's catchphrases, whether it's his his charisma, whether it's the way he just he sells himself. He definitely made, man, WWE, man, what it is today, along with people like Stone Cold, The Undertaker, and Triple H and all them. And that's
Let me just
why
say
I
this.
had to put him at number one.
He's the pie eating. He's the trailblazing, eyebrow raising. He's the most, electrifying wrestler in sports entertainment.
Hell yeah, he is.
Absolutely. Magnetic.
You want to go next, or you want me to go next?
It's up to you. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go first. You go next.
All right. To me, this wrestler, he's going to be my first pick because to me, he was held back so much. This guy is Junkyard Dog, JYD.
Yes.
He was popular when he came to WWE. This guy had such crowd appeal. He could have been made world champion in WWE.
Yeah.
And the fans would have been fine with it. That's how big he was.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog was held back in WWE. He was used sparingly. He didn't have very many big matches in WWE.
Yeah.
But the guy was game changing. You could talk about trailblazers.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog broke through the color barrier first.
Yeah.
No one made wrestling for black people quite like Junkyard Dog did.
Yeah. I mean, his run in Mid-South for Bill Watts was amazing. I mean, he was, and I mean, and the thing to remember is this, he had a very limited moveset, even when he was in Mid-South. But this guy won multiple world championships in the NWA, specifically Mid-South more than anything else. He died in a car crash at the age of 45, which is unfortunate. But he was one of the few wrestlers that was elected into the WWE Hall of Fame with not a championship won for that promotion at all. Kush, your thoughts on the JYD, the Junkyard Dog?
I mean, Junkyard Dog, I have heard about him. I'm well aware of stuff, man, of his lineage and stuff as far as pro wrestling is concerned. And, Ken Dry is partly right because he was one of the pioneers as far as, makeup, man, like black wrestlers and stuff, man, who was synonymous in the whole entire business. Like, without guys like him, it wouldn't have been good, man, for other people that further down the road to even get their foot in the door to, become, champions and become future Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
This is before my time or anything, although, of course, like I said, I haven't started watching wrestling until like the Attitude Era, but he truly was that. And yes, he was held back from WWE, but that still doesn't, take away the fact that he was one of the best men of his generation, especially, man, in the black community and stuff. Like, he was unapologetic. He was always razzling and dazzling. He was always entertaining and stuff, stay true to himself. And for real, he definitely, man, has earned his ranks and stuff, man, in the business.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with my pick, and my pick is a guy who I wasn't into wrestling when he was wrestling. This is a little bit before my time as a wrestling junkie, but as someone who loves the history of professional wrestling, this man had a saying that he would say a lot of times in his promos, and I'm going to try to do it justice. I will slap your face real good in the general public. And that man is Ernie Ladd. Ernie Ladd, the big cat, Ernie Ladd. While most African-American and black wrestlers were usually used as faces, he was one of the first true black heels in the business. The guy won 15 World Heavyweight Championships throughout the NWA territory. Did not win anything in WWF or the WWF. But he had some really great matches against Andre and Bruno Sammartino.
Is he mostly 70s or 60s?
Yeah, 60s and 70s was primarily when he was wrestling at his prime. So, Canada Dry, tell me what you want to talk about, Ernie Ladd.
I don't know anything about Ernie Ladd, but I've watched some of these Black History Month specials, and I saw them talking about Big Cat Ernie Ladd, and he was definitely a pioneer. If you think about it, being a heel Black person at the time,
Yeah.
you could get a lot of racist slurs and stuff like that thrown at you. So it took a lot of guts to be a heel at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush, what are your thoughts on Ernie Ladd?
Oh, I agree with that stuff. And he was definitely one of my picks I had in mind because he was even before people like Junkyard Dog, as far as being a brother, man. When it comes to wrestling and stuff, like he took it as a badge of honor, and he definitely did not break kayfabe at all. Like like you said, being Black and stuff, man, back in those times, man, where people, man, were very racist and and didn't want to be around him. He embraced that and still made as fuel for him to get over as one of the best heels and stuff of his time. Not to mention also carrying on a business and bringing that man to a fold, just for the love of it. Because it's kind of like Bill Russell back in his time with the Celtics, back in Boston, how he was also an activist and stuff, man, stand up for the rights of all Black people and all that with Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X. He definitely stood his ground, and he didn't want to change a damn thing because that's how passionate he was in doing what he does, because he loved it that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush, what's your next pick?
Oh man, we talking about pioneers and stuff around. Now I know this guy wasn't really supposed to be a professional wrestler. In fact, he was a collegiate football standout who could have been all pro, but yet he made history of becoming the first ever WCW man Black heavyweight champion. And I know you already know him. He's known for saying that one word that we all like to say when we're mad or excited, and that is damn. Mr. Farouk, aka Ron Simmons.
The first Black world champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the problem with Ron Simmons is that most of your wrestling fans know him as Farouk, know him as part of the APA, know his catchphrase, damn. But they don't remember that early 90s run that he had. Number one, he was a tag team champion with Butch Reed, known as Doom. Outside of that, you're right. He was technically listed as the first ever WCW World Heavyweight Champion, first Black athlete to be the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, which was a huge, huge thing because WCW broke a lot of barriers when they decided they're going to let him be the world champ. Canada Dry, lay it on me, brother.
To me, Farouk, he came into WWE and had this goofy Trojan helmet gimmick.
Yeah.
So dumb. The guy's a legend at this point.
Yeah.
And he's just a helpful wrestler. First ever Black world champion. The crowd, the locker room was poured out that day when he became the world champion. Yeah. Everyone wanted to celebrate with Ron Simmons. It just goes to show what kind of guy he is, that everyone's going to celebrate with him. The guy's got to be.
Oh, yes, for sure. And also about Ron Simmons is that he had a tough upbringing. He was one of a lot of kids and stuff. His parents and stuff, his mom died when he was just a kid, not even a teenager. And so he had to, really, pick himself up and become a man real early in his life. And he, of course, man, he ran through some troubles. He ran through some, rough crowds and that stuff, but he survived that and actually got his head on straight and realized he needs to do better than that. And that's when he got into football and all that stuff and became, a future football Hall of Famer in his own right. And then somebody picked him up and maybe he should try to go for wrestling. And he didn't think so at first, but he went to it and he actually, paid his dues and, like you said, became one of the most revered, respected man, beloved man, wrestlers, man, of his generation. And even recognized now, even before APA and Nation Domination and all that, because he's done so much for Black culture, like for
Was
people like
Sonny's
Mark
manager?
Henry.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, Sonny was his original.
Yeah, that didn't last long at all.
That didn't last long.
Yeah.
That didn't last long. But yeah, like I said, he definitely pioneered. He helped shape careers like the Rocks and Mark Henrys and D'Lo's and them, being a mentor back there with them. He was also a good friend of some man, and his run with Bradshaw, as JBL when he was APA, definitely one of the more entertaining tag teams I liked, in that two era. And he definitely deserved his flowers, and I'm glad, man, he's still around and doing more so something for the community and stuff, because he's also a real unselfish kind of guy when it comes to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Canada Dry, who's your next pick?
My next pick is the five-time world heavyweight champion, Booker T.
Yeah.
Can you dig it, sucker?
The Booker
T.
man.
Booker T. To me, he was someone that brought new energy into professional wrestling. Booker T. He was on fire at this time. What I was a big fan at the time of Booker T. He had a other catchphrase he was trying out at the time. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah.
You remember that? But Booker T, GI Bro, this guy. I love King Booker in WWE as well, being the world champion. First, the only king who was champion as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, this guy was an 18-time tag team champion with his brothers, Stevie Ray, and with a couple other guys too as well. But I mean, this guy's a Grand Slam. He's a Triple Crown and a Grand Slam champion. That says a lot,
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing what this guy was able to achieve. He runs probably one of the best wrestling schools in the United States.
Definitely with that, with having like people like the Usos and Emma who's Athena and stuff, to name a few. Even now, Roxanne Perez.
Yep. Absolutely.
The only thing I'm going to say and complain about, I hate how he's a company stooge now.
He is a very much company stooge for WWE. So, but
that's my only complaint about Booker T. Because this isn't about what he's become; it's what he added.
Yeah, he recently has started warming up to AEW and is giving them their flowers when they deserve it. So, which is good. I mean, but yeah, he's pro WWE all the way. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, like I said, also with Booker T, though, like with his brother Stevie Ray and all that, like he's like he said, he's just naturally charismatic. Like, I can talk about The Rock and all that. You can say the same thing about Booker T, because all the things that he was doing, in the segments, on his interviews, as far as his character is concerned, it was run with Goldust, definitely hilarious and stuff, man, how they became the Booker T and Goldie. I love their segments they had. Definitely really memorable. Also, just with him being the King Booker, with him and Queen Charmel, his wife and stuff. That was some good stuff. I mean, he definitely knows how to just come up with some things and make it memorable and stuff, man, and quotable that you can definitely remember when it comes to Booker T.
Yeah.
Listen, Kush.
Love him.
The path he was on in WCW was going to propel him to become one of the all-time greats, not just as a black wrestler, but as one of the greatest of all time. But when he went to WWE, that rocket was kind of not as prevalent.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right about that. But, that's just how good he was, because rather they just wanted to keep him down, you can only keep him down because he was that hungry and stuff, man, and was really determined to make some of himself there. And he succeeded. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to go with someone who personified violence before violence was cool. Okay.
We got an extra pick in this round.
Okay. So when you can make Mick Foley look like a cute little kitten, you deserve to be on this list. we're talking about years before ECW, years before FMW, years before Deathmatch at GCW. We're talking about a guy who used to use a table fork as a way to go ahead and stab his competition to death. And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Abdullah.
Okay, I thought you were going to say New Jack. I'm like, what the?
I knew he was going to say Abdullah. I knew it was going to be Abdullah.
What was great about Abdullah the Butcher was this man went all over the world. As decently sized as he was in the United States in terms of fandom, he was a monster in Japan. He was on TV shows, talk shows. He was in movies in Japan. This guy was loved and adored for what this guy did. And he essentially would just come in the ring, brutally destroy his opponent, stab him with a fork a few times, leave a couple of blood, and then leave. He never stayed in the promotion too long. He was brought in as a monster heel. He'd do the work that he needed to do, and then boom, he's out. But yeah, I mean, his matches were not violent. They weren't barbaric. They were just grotesque. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, all you have to do is just go to YouTube, type in Abdullah the Butcher, and pull up a throw-up bag because you're going to need it because this guy played it like there was no tomorrow. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
I love this pick because before YouTube and all that, when we were kids, the only way we could see him is in the magazines.
Yeah.
Like you would see this bloodied up Abdullah the Butcher.
Yep.
You would learn about Abdullah the Butcher in the write-ups. And it wasn't until much later that I actually got to see what he could do and all that kind of stuff. But I loved hearing about Bret Hart kicking his leg when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
Because Abdullah's beating up his dad and then just Abdullah turning around, looking at a young Bret, just growling at him. And also just the kayfabe that he maintained, going into restaurants, pretending he couldn't speak English and all that stuff. That's commitment. Oh, my goodness.
That is huge commitment. Kush, what are your thoughts on Abdullah the Butcher?
Abdullah the Butcher, man, he definitely was, man, one of the more fascinating, man, wrestlers and stuff in the world because he has, just like you said, that's what he's been doing, just going out, performing, in various companies and stuff in the world, doesn't matter who he was against. He made sure you got your money's worth and then some as far as what he does in the ring, which makes him stand out and definitely makes him so memorable.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some of his death matches and stuff, and it's hard to believe how this guy's even alive, let alone and stuff, man, keep doing what he's been doing at that rate.
Yeah.
He was definitely inspiration for hardcore legends, man, like Tommy Dreamer and Nick Cage and all of them. You can't look at no other than him and Brody King back then, who were doing it, man, just because they want to, just because they want to make sure wrestling was as real as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Only man saltier than Abdullah the Butcher has to be Lord Alex Haney.
Hello. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Abdullah the Butcher?
I mean, you can't really argue with what you've said, and just on top, what was it, on top of what Aaron was sort of saying, what was it? He's the guy that Bret wishes he could have one more match with, just with the storytelling that he could have done and things like that, and what was it? I think you do the death match a great disservice now, because obviously I'm not a big death match fan, but that's because of what it is now, But it was certainly back then it was done right. It had purpose and it had meaning behind it, and stuff wasn't just done for the sake of doing stuff, Everything was sort of, but you can see inspirations all the way throughout of that. I mean, even down to what was it, Don Callis' Screwdriver, that's it was a fork, but that's an Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh, that's totally an Abdullah the Butcher copy.
Oh yeah,
called and that's copies a terrible word in wrestling. You can put
it is.
You can pay
I don't know
homage.
if you know this, but I mentioned copycat to Natalia, and she kind of rephrased that the other day on the show.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? You can sort of play homage to the sort of
Yeah,
these.
that's what Natalia said. She said it's more of a tribute
Yeah,
to these wrestlers.
it's like the question you asked about the mist. You know, was it you asked about the mist? You know, and she says she wouldn't do it because it was but was it somebody else's sort of thing? You know.
Yeah. She
You
didn't
know,
want to steal
so
someone's thunder.
there is that respect here, but there is times when they sort of like do stuff. You know, I go back to sort of. I mean, it's talking about different. Go back to when Dean Ambrose, when Jake the Snake came out with the snake. You know.
Yeah.
If you actually watch that, it's quite funny because John Moxley, he can't contain himself because he's totally like a marking out fan with a snake.
Oh yeah, big smile on his face as he's got the snake all over him.
You know that things like that are just amazing in the sort of wrestling. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, he's being a little kid with this Jake the snake all over him.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see that in his matches as well. I think he's a fan. Definitely a fan of Abdullah as well. You know, so
Let's find out who Alex Haney is picking.
Yeah, who's your pick?
well, what was it? I've obviously looked at, listened to what you were saying, and I'm going to pick one that may or may not come up. You know, and I've tried to stay away from the obvious ones, but I think. What was it? Just in terms of wrestling and what he is, Titus O'Neil for me is
Oh
truly,
wow!
yeah, truly. I mean, for the guy himself, the size of the guy, you know, the Primetime Players were a great tag team. You know, him and Darren. You know, what was it? They were sort of what was it? Really sort of what was it? Had a great run in the WWE back then. Darren's another one because obviously he's actually come out now. He's obviously a member of the LGBTQ community, you know. So what was it in terms of breaking down sort of barriers? That's another barrier that was sort of broke down with Darren and the sort of the Primetime Players. But for me, Titus, what was I just think he's a sort of great a sort of great guy, a great character, you know. And I love, I mean. I love all the stuff that he does away from the ring as well that doesn't get noticed. You know, he's a really
like Titus O'Neil. I think they should have strapped the rocket to this guy's back.
Yeah.
And
he
a nice intercontinental title reign, a nice USA title reign.
Yeah.
It would have been good.
And he went for the sort of what was he obviously auditioned for the Winter Olympics at the Great Royal Rumble where he went and did the sort of bobsleigh underneath.
yeah. It's, you know what's sad is that he's kind of a mocked guy now.
Yeah, you know,
but just sad. For the kind of guy he is, helping people and shit like that. It's kind of sad how he gets treated professionally.
I mean, the stuff he does. I mean, just as a human being, the stuff he does.
Yeah,
and I wanted to speak about him. The stuff he does. And Tampa and all that with the backpack. What was I mean, he makes sure kids have backpacks for going to school every year, and there's a big charity drive. You know, obviously him and his partner are involved in that. You know, just and his life story as well. You talk about you talk about a hard upbringing. I don't know if you've seen him, but I would recommend anybody checking out his TED Talk on YouTube. He talks about, I mean, he was. For want of a better sort of, I'm trying to think of a nice way of putting it. He was conceived through an attack, essentially. You know.
Oh wow.
You know, so and he talks about that and what was it? How as a young lad, you know, he went down a path, and then what was it? How he in the TED Talk about how he found direction and people helped him. You know, and that's his sort of life mission to be doing with the wrestling and that as well. But I just think he's an absolute. What was it, a gem of a human being, you know, and I thought I just wanted to mention him. You know, he might not have the big wrestling accolades, but I think what was it, he's a name there that should definitely be.
All right, we got a big list here to finish up, so we'll have you gone, and we'll have Kush. Kush, what do you think of Titus O'Neil?
Well, Titus O'Neil, he definitely is a great humanitarian, stuff for sure, and just like Alex Haney pointed out. That he's been foster cared and he had tough times and stuff, man. But he went to football, just kind of like Farouk. He went to football, stuff, man, to get out of that life he's had, and he knew what it felt like, man, to be cared for and looked after. So he's definitely done that with his football league, with his kids is involved, feeding the homeless and sheltering people, and Yeah, I do agree that he was entertaining and stuff, man, for whenever they gave him TV time. Especially with prime time players. Me and my little brother, when we was watching them at first, we kind of did that little him and Darren Young's man millions of dollars, thing, which is very, very good and hilarious.
All right,
You know
so
what? I
who's your
think Titus O'Neil, he read his Spider-Man comics because he knows with great power comes great responsibility.
word up? So let's go to Kush. Kush, who's your next pick?
Oh man, like I said, there's so many guys. Something I can think of right now, but I have to say this guy right here. He was an all around powerhouse. He went up with his moniker. He went to the Olympics and got a bronze medal when it comes to weightlifting. He definitely was sexual chocolate, who definitely knew how to fool the ladies, and he definitely knew how to bring the pain in the house of pain. I'm even talking about none other than the great Mark Henry.
Yeah, Mark Henry. I love this pick. Mark Henry he's an Olympian. And
Sure.
he helped father Hand. That's huge. That's huge.
This is where the hamburger helper got its start. The hamburger helper.
I love this pick. Mark Henry, like Kurt Angle before him, he really took to wrestling pretty easily. I don't remember him snuffing around in the minors and in FCS and a couple of the other FCW and a couple or Ohio Valley. I don't remember him sticking around there for very long. He pretty much hit the roster like right after he signed. So, Canada, your thoughts on Mark Henry?
Mark Henry, he's another guy that was trained by the Hearts.
Yeah,
a lot of people forget that, but he spent some time training with the Hart family.
Yep.
And they really taught him how to be a real pro wrestler. To me, Mark Henry is the example of how far you can actually go if you keep pushing, keep striving for your dream. This guy was so good. I really enjoyed Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, sexual chocolate.
Yeah.
Was he 2-time world champion?
3-time.
3-time world champion. Yeah. Mark Henry.
Yeah.
The guy's amazing.
All right. Canada Dry, who's your next pick?
My next pick, for my third pick, I'm picking Bobby frickin' Lashley.
Ooh, yeah.
Bobby Lashley, this guy, he's got the fountain of youth going on here.
Oh, yeah.
You take a look at when he had that match in the Donald Trump hair versus hair with Vince McMahon.
Umaga too. Rest in peace.
He looks the same.
Yeah.
He literally looks the same.
Yep.
And the guy's just built like a brick shit house.
Yeah.
This guy he's like this guy. He's an athlete and a half.
Yeah.
And I remember he's the only guy to beat Roman Reigns clean on a pay-per-view.
Yep.
Only to lose the next match. Bobby Lashley could have been, he's big, but he could have been way bigger if they allowed him to be.
Oh, yeah. His TNA run is nothing to laugh at. He had an amazing run in TNA Impact. I thought, that when he came back to WWE, that he would kind of pick up that momentum, and really has not. He kind of stalled out a little bit.
I did like 3 runs here in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good, though.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to add
get his thoughts on Bobby Lashley.
What are your thoughts on Bobby Lashley?
Oh man, Bobby Lashley, like I said, as soon as he came out, man, like in WWE in his first run, I knew right away they're gonna push him to the moon because Vince, he always liked his big, strong man, muscular guys, and he was already within Team SmackDown and Survivor Series and stuff, man. That same year he debuted, and like I said, he picked off, man, a real good blue chipper. He used to be a champion, like a collegiate wrestler or something before that, back in Colorado. He's still true to that place, Seven State. Still, I think. I feel like he has a little training or some session over there, but mainly just because how not only big and powerful he is, but also how athletic and talented he really was. And his matches that he had with Booker T and stuff, Booker T helped put him over. Definitely helped him, man, for his long tenure, man, in all wrestling, whether it was WWE or TNA, become their world champion, or coming back, become their Intercontinental champion, and now two-time WWE champion. And now look what he's doing with the Street Profits, trying to get them to a whole different gear and help them and be taken more seriously and have more longevity and stuff in their careers. Like
Tell me, Chris, does this not sound better than Seth freaking Rollins, Bobby freaking Lashley? Does that not sound better?
that does sound better. It sounds like that should be his moniker over Seth Rollins. Of
Bobby
course, you
freaking
can't go wrong either way because
Yeah.
both of them, they definitely really exude the word freaking because they are freaking fantastic what they do.
Well, Seth freaking Rollins, he's freaking Lashley.
Probably
I like
Yeah.
that.
I'm going to go with my next one. I'm going to add sprinkle in a little femininity into this conversation. I'm going to go with Jacqueline.
Oh, Jacqueline, good one.
Strong as hell. She
Yes,
had
it was.
poise. She was she was adept at any style of wrestling, whether it was powerhouse, whether it was technical. This girl, this woman did it all. And she is probably one of the most highly regarded wrestlers in the female, especially coming through the Attitude Era. But she opened doors for a lot of black women to come in. Girls like Athena, women like Athena,
Jazz too.
not have that chance if it wasn't for Jacqueline. And so, Ken and Dry, your thoughts on Jacqueline?
I loved Jacqueline at the time when she came in as Mark Marrow's love interest.
Yep.
Like he's grabbing her ass at the time. This is a children's show.
Yeah.
If I remember JR saying. But Jacqueline, hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
And I believe she still wrestles from time to time, and she can still go.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's
like
no
she had a retirement match in TNA was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like she still had it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Kush, your thoughts?
Yep. Yeah, like I said, Jacqueline, I definitely remember her, man, when I started watching wrestling with the Attitude Era stuff, her little rivalry with Sable. I mean, that's hell of an impression, man, when you're going through puberty and stuff, though. But she proved more. She was just a pretty face. She's hard-hitting, man, and she was no nonsense inside that ring. If it weren't for her, people like Trish Stratus and Lita and, them wouldn't have gone, to better things like they have because she was like the gatekeeper, almost like the measuring stick of the females division back then. And as well as she's also been historical in becoming the first and only women's cruiserweight champion back when they had the first brand extension of the WWE.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I definitely like
three
it.
we're in. You're the
That was the end of round 3. We're now in round 4.
Yeah.
So Kush, who's your fourth pick?
How many rounds we have again?
5.
Okay.
We got 2 wrestlers left each.
Perfect.
No, you can't pick Mr. Perfect. He's not black.
Yeah. He couldn't be any more if he was, but that's another thing. I gotta go, man, with a guy who's been there for quite a while. He's definitely been one of the more, top-notch athletes and stuff, man, that wrestling's ever seen, especially in WWE. He's been quite, man, quite a showman and stuff as far as Royal Rumble's concerned. He created ways of how to save your skin, your neck from being eliminated. He's also one-third of one of the best factions, man, in the New Day. And I'm talking about the man, the remaster of Kofi Mania, none other than just making me crazy, Kofi Kingston himself.
I love this pick.
Gotta get him there.
He's a Boston boy, so I support him all. I just support him with all my heart.
Right.
But I will never forget the promo where he cut against Triple H, and Triple H said, "Hey, wait a minute, weren't you supposed to be Jamaican?"
Yes.
This guy revolutionized. He brought high flying to WWE that didn't really get it. Like WWE never got high flyers until Kofi came along. I don't think they knew what to do with them or how to make it work, but he made it work. He's unfreaking believable. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
My thoughts of Kofi Kingston, I always think of the little engine that could.
Yeah.
and that's no better place than in Kofi Mania.
Yeah.
He's just defying the odds. He's not supposed to be there, but he's there anyways, and he wins the world title. And he's just got this place of prominence for a few months. How long did Kofi Mania last?
About a
It
year.
lasted about near like a year.
Yeah.
As champion, I don't think it was a year though.
No,
It was like about 6 months.
yeah, about
Yeah.
6 months. Yeah.
But yeah, Kofi Mania, the Royal Rumble spots, he's defied the odds.
Yeah.
To become one of the greatest black wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, not just that, but also he came from Ghana. That's where he was born from. So, of course,
Yeah,
man, that was good
Ghana.
representation too from that. He got to go
Yeah.
out there, man, and celebrate, man, the people and stuff, man, holding his championship along with his brother, man, and Xavier Woods and Big E and all that. I felt like that was pretty nice and, pretty heartwarming, man, seeing him, man, get back to people, man, that helped, man, get him started, because he's even though as athletic and talented as he is, he's always so humble, and he's always one of the more loved and endeared, man, people in the back. Like nobody can say a negative thing about him.
Yeah.
He's very funny. He can be very charismatic and stuff, especially on the mic. Ever since he went with the New Day and stuff, it just gave him a whole new layers of being more of himself and being an entertainer along with an athlete.
Yeah.
So I had to have Kofi on there too because, while his tag team, where he's won a lot of tag team gold with various partners like CM Punk and R-Truth, and even with him and Evan Bourne, who's now Matt Sydal with Air Boom. Never forgot about that. Him with Big E, and even a few times with Xavier Woods when they won NXT Tag Team Championship and that feud with Britt Diddley, who are on the rise. He's just a guy that keeps on giving, and I can't help, man, but I just had to put his name out there because he's definitely been unselfish and always been able to give, what he can 100%.
Because what I find interesting about this is when New Day first started, they were not well received.
No, they wasn't.
New Day
It's like
sucks
there was
was all over the place. And then it became new. They were able to weather that storm.
Yeah.
And they became New Day Rocks.
Yep.
They just had a little bit more creative control, and they just went ahead and let it grow, organically. And since then, people, just like with The Rock, man was being shoved down people's throats, people didn't receive him well. Same day with the New Day, and when he started turning and had a little bit more of his creative man on there, oh yeah, it's been gone from there. He's been a legendary since then. Same thing with New Day.
Pancakes, bootios. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
All that, even hosting WrestleMania, even be on Jimmy Fallon live and all that. These guys are definitely across mainstream and never look back. And because they have that bond, that brotherhood that you got to have. It's like that's true kinship once you guys can achieve past your wildest dreams. They even have a podcast together. So this guy's living for these guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Ken and Dry, who's your next pick?
My next pick is someone who is underrated for years.
Okay.
This guy was a high flyer and got the push all the way to the WWE. I'm talking about Coco, the Birdman Beware.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I knew for a fact that he was getting screwed by the man, not getting to win big matches on the undercard, winning against like guys like Nikolai Volkov and stuff like that. But Coco Beware, to me, he paved the way for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Because he just stuck with it.
Yeah.
And the guy did a killer brainbuster.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? One of the best in the business.
Yeah, and that drop kick off the top ropes.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone was doing it before him, but everyone's copied him.
Yeah.
That missile drop kick off the top ropes.
Yep.
Coco Beware and Frankie, innovative. Like the Birdman was the shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a man who used to wrestle as a masked wrestler called Stagger Lee. That's how he started in Mid-South. The guy, he's held 21 titles throughout his career, 0 with the WWE and WWF. But I remember how awesome the tag team with him and Owen Hart was when they
High
teamed up.
freaking energy.
High freaking energy, and it was so amazing. But Coco Beware, outside of Junkyard Dog in the WWE, everybody loved Coco Beware. I mean, everybody loved Coco Beware.
The black blue blazer.
Yes, the black blue blazer. I mean, the other thing to remember is Coco Beware is the guy who lost to Undertaker at Survivor Series. He was the Taker's first pin.
Oh, that's right too.
So
That is true.
Chris, your thoughts on Coco Beware?
Like I said, Coco Beware is just, like I said, another memorable, wrestling personality and stuff who definitely, man, was very good at stuff in the ring. Like, just talented. He's undeniable.
Hell of a singer too.
Yeah, very, very popular and stuff indeed and stuff, man, as far as range is concerned. Like, he definitely, man, is definitely going to remember, man, the Federation years and stuff, man, as one of the more entertaining, man, almost a complete well-rounded, man, athletes and stuff, man, they had.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my pick. It's a little modern than what we're currently running, but I think without him, we wouldn't have the pinpoint beautiful.
Prince Hakeem should get an honorable mention.
Lord. This man, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe him. He has wrestled for WWE. He's wrestled for TNA. He was known as K Quick.
Oh, I love it.
I know what you're talking about.
Everybody knows him better as R-Truth. And the fact that this guy, I think he's like 90, maybe 95 years old.
He's another guy that's got that Bobby Lashley fountain of youth going on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this guy drinks and what this guy eats for dinner or lunch or breakfast, but whatever it is, tell me the secret, Ron Killings.
You know what it is? It's black don't crack.
Yeah.
It's
Black don't crack and stuff at all. Like, you take good care of yourself, man, and say well conditioned stuff, you can say timeless forever.
Yeah.
I love our truth, man.
Listen, you take an old white guy and you take an old black guy, that old black guy's going to look way younger.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they still stay debonair.
And I loved him with The Miz. I thought the tag, I mean, their tag title run was absolutely amazing.
Awesome truth, yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. So, Canada Dry, your thoughts on Ron Killings?
Ron Killings, the first NWA black heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Another first. So just on that alone, I think he deserves on this list. But not only that, he his 24/7 championship run is unprecedented.
Yeah.
His comedy is untouchable. The guy's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Not bad. Like the guy, like even his run now with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Collecting money and the guy is freaking talented.
He's a national treasure.
Like he's a national treasure. Everyone loves R-Truth.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
No one's gonna say bad shit about R-Truth.
Exactly. And I mean, and he's a great rapper. It's not even beyond the fact that he's actually, I've listened to a lot of his music. He's amazing.
We only got to hear one song in WWE, but he's got other stuff.
Oh yeah, he's got like 8 or 9 albums out. I mean, he's got quite a bit. Kush, what are your thoughts on Ron Killings?
I'm not surprised that you picked him, man. In fact, you kind of stole my pick. I was kind of thinking about having him for best of last, but like you said, he's just so multi-talented and stuff. Like he just gets the how to entertain and while just being himself. That's why he's just naturally funny. He's so good when it comes to his rap and stuff and producing. Did y'all even know this, that he actually back in the day used to know Tupac and Eazy-E and all them on the West Coast and stuff? Like he was actually doing music stuff, man, with them even back then. And you talk about that black don't crack and stuff, man. That's how influential he is when it comes to the rap styles of things. Yeah. And not just that, but also an athlete though too. Back in Charlotte stuff, when he's playing football, playing basketball, Like this guy, man, knows a limit when it comes to being an all around good talent, and he's so humble and stuff, and very down to earth. Like I can see him, man, being one of the ring generals stuff back there. I can see him, man, being such a a good mouthpiece. Something when it comes to sound advice, because he's been in the game for a long time, and he keeps on getting better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush, who's your last pick?
Oh man, like I said, you took my pick in R-Truth, but I got a few people stuff I have in mind. I feel I should bring this person up, and this person really is. I hope that he comes back, because I feel like his career has been cut down a little bit short. He's known for not only making you count to 3. No, he can't take 3. He wants 5 on it. He's also known as a big, lovable sweater of a guy who's also another member of the New Day, who's also a former world champion, Intercontinental champion, and multi-time tag team champion. You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. I'm talking about Big E.
Big E. I love it. Big E is such a I mean, this is a guy who doesn't look like he's ever had a bad day. Like the smile on his face. And it's funny because like I see that in Willow Nightingale in AEW. I see that Big E push on her. She's always got a big smile on her face. Same with Big E. And despite the fact that this guy may or may not ever wrestle again, that guy has a smile on his face and talks about the business with such love and adoration that you could be a non-wrestling fan and still love Big E for that positive energy he's got. Canada Dry, your thoughts on Big E?
Okay, I'm gonna step out and say this. We have not seen the last of Big E.
No.
I think he's working his way. He's gonna get doctor cleared, and he's gonna return, and he's gonna go on another world title run.
Yep, I feel it too.
Oh, I can feel it.
I feel it absolutely.
I feel like he is just like with people before, like Brian Danielson, just like with Adam Copeland, just like with Saraya. They may be gone and stuff, man, but they're not going to be held back for long. And I think time is going to be on his side to where he can come back and, quote unquote, finish his story the way he wants to. And that is to continue, man, wrestling and stuff, man, entertain, like we all know he's capable of doing. Like, It's just like, he's not like I said, he was a silent guy who started out in NXT. He was a football standout, just like Farouk was, just like, many other guys we already mentioned. But what makes Big E, man, stand out so much is not just because of his size and all that. It's because how entertaining and how really the little things he does. Like that one time when him and New Day were out in the crowd and they were supposed to be fans, the way they had now as a me with him enjoying that popcorn too much, and he cramming all in his face and shit. And and if you ever keep up with Up Up Down Down, which is Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, he's very funny and stuff on there too. Like he is just like Kofi. He's very loved. He's very down to earth, just hilarious and stuff. And he has shined his personality and stuff. Even now that he's doing ambassador things with WWE, like how he's still staying positive and all that, and still working with them and being there for his brothers and everybody like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't say enough.
So we got Shane LY Experience, Showtime.
Hey, brothers, how you guys doing? Not much. I just want to get one quick one off.
Yeah.
Who you picking? Who you picking?
This is going to actually piss a lot of people off, but you got to separate the art from the artist. The person might be a piece of trash. But back in the day, Smoky Mountain, they really knew how to play up being the black person and really hyped up everything. They did everything they could to piss off the local rednecks in the crowd, and that would be New Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I seriously can't see a black, best black app. Like, he might not be the most athletic wrestler. Oh, well, obviously, he's not a true wrestler, per se, but as a character.
That's a controversial pick, too.
Yeah. No, you know what? Who better to pick a controversial pick than me?
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
speaking of Big E, he did dress up as Prince Akeem that one Halloween episode of SmackDown.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
he
That's
did. Yeah,
hilarious.
he did.
That was beautiful. So
Also, when they with
Yeah.
the Brew though too, the other Halloween also.
that's right. That's
he was
right.
Gangrel.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
thoughts on New Jack pick?
Yeah.
New Jack is a tough. I mean, this is a guy who said, I'm gonna one up Abdullah the Butcher, and how I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna do it more violent, more grotesque.
And I'm not even going to tell my opponent.
Yeah, I'm gonna almost murder one of my opponents, and
A
with that,
kid. A kid
know?
to boot.
but I will never forget 2 matches. One where he kept stapling the contract on top. I can't remember the
I
wrestler's
remember seeing
name.
that.
And the
Yeah.
one where he went through 18 tables off of a scaffold. I mean,
Yeah.
like, that's New Jack. And that man lived a life that he lived in real life. He lived in the ring, which was,
Oh yeah, no bullshit with him.
you know.
So
What do you think, Canada Dry?
I'm going to hold my opinion for this. He's got to, you picked him. I'm not going to say shit.
Okay.
If you got your New Jack fans out there you go. But yeah,
Okay.
there's a
all
Don
right.
Cherry.
I just had to drop the name out there so quickly. Thanks for having me
So
on, guys.
For my last pick, I'm gonna let JFB go ahead of me,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pick last.
Okay. I am gonna pick Bobo Brazil.
Oh yeah.
There was not a man alive. Now, this man broke down. This guy is the Jackie Robinson of professional wrestling. He had over 52 world heavyweight titles, including the NWA World Heavyweight title, which he did beat Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. But because of backstage politics at the time, it was null and voided. Despite not being recognized, I mean, he's also was ever in the first ever mixed race tag team match in Georgia for Georgia Southern Wrestling. Like, that says a lot. I mean, this is a guy who he didn't just knock on the door and open it. He did a drop kick.
So he wasn't really in WWE too much, was he?
He was very infrequently in NW. He was more in NWA than he was in WWE.
Yeah.
And for good reason. He didn't like wrestling up north. He liked wrestling down south, because that's where he basically was from. So
Okay, so we'll get Cush's thoughts on Bobo Brazil.
Yeah.
Alex Haney wants to make one more selection. So
Okay.
go ahead, your thoughts on Bobo Brazil, Cush.
I feel like he definitely was, man, truly one of the faces, man, of that company in NWA. Because rather, just like, with New Jack was, man, as Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you can say the same about him when it comes to that. And it's good, man, that he definitely was one of the pioneers, just like Junkyard Dog, just like Coco Beware, and Ernie Ladd and them were really setting the standard and stuff, man, for more African minority stuff, man, to get into business and stuff, and make a career out of it.
Yeah.
Alex Haney, I'll let you pick one more before we close down with my final selection.
Oh, okay, I'll make it this quick. I was actually wanting to come on to you, obviously, thing with the New Jack thing for a bit of fact, but we'll forget about that. So what was it? I'm just going to pick Kamala because I think.
Oh yes,
Kamala.
Kamala is a hell of a pick. Good thing
we got
you on.
I remember again, big sort of animated characters in the WWE as a kid. Kamala was always the one that sort of stood out.
Yeah.
I had a Kamala action figure. I'll tell you that.
And it wasn't until years later. But was it? I found out. I went back and looked at his career, like anything else, in the UK, up until the mid '90s. It was really just WWF,
Yeah.
So, yeah, but was it? But was it? Yeah. So, and just heartbreaking. But was it the sort of story?
How it ended with
what he
him,
went through,
Yeah.
But I just thought he should be mentioned because he was a great guy and a great performer.
Yeah, Kamala. As a child, watching Kamala Great runs with Hogan, by the way, in that main event.
Yeah.
Kamala, I remember the stories of he's the only guy to kind of shut down Andre the Giant when Andre the Giant made the mistake of saying the N word.
Yep.
And Kamala just let him have it.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to let that happen. And Andre the Giant, he didn't have to, but he apologized.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, let's go to Canada Dry. Your last pick.
My last pick, to me, other than The Rock, he's going to be the greatest of all time. But the reason I mentioned The Rock, because The Rock,
I know what's going.
The Rock isn't pure black. He's half black.
Yeah.
So
Still
to me,
black.
A second,
This
Dan, if
guy-
you know, I think you're going
Still
to say,
black.
I'm going to buy a ticket to Vancouver and slap you in the face.
my selection here is Swerve Strickland.
Okay.
Oh, you're
He's going to be the greatest black wrestler of all time.
Okay. I'll say this. Swerve has, I think, he encapsulates probably the vast majority of the people we've picked on this panel. He's got a swagger about him that I think no one other than maybe Junkyard Dog had back in the day. He's a purist in wrestling. He can high fly, he can technical, he can bump and bruise, he plays a physical part. There's nothing Swerve can't do. And I think you're right. I think in 5 years, 10 years, he'll go down as one of the greats.
apart from one
And he's going to become the greatest, and he's going to become the first black champion in AEW history.
Yep.
I agree
apart
with
from
that.
one thing, you know what he can't do? He can't wrestle.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I don't,
Will you, as Gorilla
Oh.
Monsoon says, will you stop?
yeah.
Will you stop? I can't believe you've just said that, Aaron. I really can't. You know, out of all the names we've talked about, this guy to me is the flavour of the month. You know,
That's right. That's what
you'll not even know who he is in 2 years' time.
Oh no, he's going to be bigger, and like if he leaves AEW to go to WWE, he's going to just win more titles there.
I mean, the WWE and NXT have got they've got more talented guys. They've got Melo. You know, what was it called?
Yep, Carmelo, Trick Williams.
Yeah, good honorary names, but they're not on the list.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, they're in development and already achieving more than this Swerve guy. You know, but was it? I mean,
Hey, just like Booker T used to say,
Yeah.
don't hate the player,
Hey,
hate the game.
yeah.
well, I hate.
But
the
you know what?
wrestler.
I do. Yeah, I do like Swerve and stuff though too. Like I said, he's definitely one of the rising stars and stuff, man. And he definitely has earned his keep. And he's been, like you said, just like with like Rock, and he has that appeal about him to where he's going to be a big star. And he's been backing it up. Just like with R-Truth, he makes his own music. He's his own producer and rapper. He got one of the best hype man and managers in Prince Nana with the Nana dance. He got everything going for him, and I know he's going to be a champion stuff for sure.
I gotta check out this Swerve
I'll
rap.
definitely make him good.
You like this Swerve rap?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
heard
good. I mean, he knows what he's doing when it comes to making beats and stuff, man, and music.
Yeah,
That's cool.
You know-
He has his own
what,
podcast too.
you know what a great man once says? Rap is crap.
If it's not done right, it's crap.
That's true. Rap can be really bad if it's not done perfectly.
That mumble rap, that's not rap to me.
Now, Coach, do you get people that are like, "Hey, check out my rap," and you're like, "No, thanks."
Trust me, I got friends and family alike where I'm very selective when it comes to listening to stuff. If you spit some good bars and have a good music and stuff, I'll keep listening to it. But I'm a very honest kind of guy. I was like, yep, you probably need to work on this or that. No, for me, I'm unapologetically
Well,
honest.
you get a lot of people that are delusional, thinking they're good.
Yes. I have some who actually have talent, who are more humble, and I got some who don't have that much, who shouldn't be that braggadocious.
You know what-
Braggadocious.
You know what's really funny about that? And I think I've said this in the chat before. I've got friends and cousins. Tupac's huge over here. You know that. What was it in Big E and all that? and I know that's a stereotypical thing. There is what was it? And it's quite funny because even to this day, they're as transparent as me, but they still think.
Yeah.
They still think they're too.
Well, we've gone on quite a while here, so let's wind her up here.
All right, guys, that's the end of the show. We gave you the auditory orgasm that we promised you from the beginning, and I guarantee you, we fulfilled our prophecy. Now, if you want to help us in any way, shape, or form, there's tiers on YouTube. You can send us a big shiny check to bigshinymatrix@gmail.com or hotmail.com. Sends you right to our PayPal page. Now, if you want to show the world how much you love all effing wrestling, all you got to do is just go to prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. Support the show. We can't get the guests that we want to get unless we get some money in our pockets. So go to our website, effingwrestling.com, alleffingwrestling.com. On behalf of Canada Dry, the salty one, Alex Haley, and our friend down below, Kush Money, I am the JFB.
Raise your fist in the air and
Can't
Kush
see
Money.
you.
Say it.
Be
Kush,
black,
ready?
be proud.
Say it.
I'm black and I'm proud.
No, you gotta say the Just Keep Fighting line.
All right, just keep fighting.
Boom.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.